Hey guys, Zach here, and welcome back to another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the NECA Godzilla 1962. Now, this version of Godzilla comes from the 1962 film King Kong vs. Godzilla, which I haven't seen in a while, so I can't really give you my opinions on it. I actually tried watching it the other day. It's just that the DVD that I have is kind of European, so it doesn't really work on my Xbox, so that's something that I'm actually kind of upset about, so I wasn't able to watch the movie. So, yeah, I'll probably just have to find it, like, you know, an American copy on DVD or something like that, but, yeah. Anyway, this figure itself, I'm not going to be, I'm not going to go into too much detail when I say this, but this figure is absolutely amazing, and I'd even say that it's better than any of the other NECA Godzilla figures, at least in the 6-inch scale, so, yeah. Anyway, with all of that out of the way, let's take a closer look at this, and first, we'll take a look at the painting on this figure, and the painting on this figure is actually very nice, especially for a NECA figure. So, most of the body is this charcoal gray, which is accurate. However, there are hints of brown that really do make the painting on this figure pop. The dorsal plates are painted very nicely, with bits of white for the outer parts and a darker color in the center, which, again, looks very nice. And that continues all the way to the tip of the tail, and, again, looks really good. The toenails are painted a grayish color, as well as the claws here. His eyes are painted yellow with black pupils, and the teeth are a whitish yellowish color, which again looks very nice. And the inside of the mouth is a pinkish orangish kind of color, which again looks nice. And that about does it for the painting on this figure. The painting on this figure is actually very nice, and I haven't, been able to find any paint blemishes on this, so yeah, that's really good for a NECA figure. So the painting on this figure definitely gets a pass. Now I'll take a look at the articulation, and the articulation on this figure, it's a little limited, but it's still very nice, and way better than any of the other NECA Godzilla figures that we've gotten in the past. I'll talk about why in a second, but let's just get into this. So, the jaw is on a hinge joint. The head is on a ball joint. The neck is on a ball joint. The arms, they're on ball joints, but it's very limited. So, there's not a lot you can do. You can't really make him clap like how he did in the movie, which is kind of a shame, but, whatever. The elbows can bend, and there is a swivel. A little limited, but still there. The hands are on ball joints. And the fingers can, move, making a fist, which doesn't look great, but it's fine. The waist is on a ball joint, but it's very limited, so there's not a lot of motion you can get out of this. The legs are on ball joints. There's a bend at the knee, and the feet are on ball joints as well. Now for the tail. And the tail on this figure is very nice in terms of articulation. So we have a ball joint here, a ball joint here, a ball joint, a ball joint, and a ball joint. And really quick, I just want to say this. That's actually really nice because all the other 6-inch NECA figures that we've gotten in the past, they all had a bendy wire in the tail, which isn't bad at first. It's just that when they break, there's nothing you can really do about it, so you're just kind of stuck with a broken tail. And I'm actually very happy that NECA stopped doing that. So, yeah. It'd be nice if they did that for all their other NECA figures, but looking at the King of the Monsters figures, I can see that, yeah, they're not doing the bendy wire anymore, so that's actually very nice. So, yeah. And that about does it for the articulation on this figure. A bit limited, but still better than any other NECA figure that we've gotten in the past, at least in the 6-inch scale. I don't have the 12-inch NECA Godzilla, but yeah, out of the ones I do own, this one is definitely the best. So, yeah. Anyway, now I'll take a look at the sculpt, and the sculpt on this figure is almost perfect. There's just one thing that I don't like about it, but we'll talk about that in a second. First of all, one nitpick I have. I understand why this is an issue, but I feel like the tail is a little bit too thick. And I know that's like, to make the joints, like, strong and whatnot, so I get that, but it's still something worth pointing out. Also, if you do want your figure's tail flattened out, that's not really the best looking. It doesn't look awful, but it's still not great looking, but yeah. But other than that, the sculpting here is perfect, but there is one thing that does kind of ruin it, and that's at the jaw right here. For some reason, on mine, the jaw is just jutting out like this, which I don't know why. I've seen pictures where the jaw is like, more inside the figure, but for some reason on mine, it's just jutting outwards, and that really doesn't look nice. I tried fixing it a couple times, but nothing works, so I'm just kind of stuck with this, which is kind of a shame, but yeah. So, sorry about that, but yeah, no, that's one thing I really don't like. So, yeah. Other than that, the sculpting on this figure is still pretty much perfect, besides the whole jaw issue, so the sculpt definitely gets a pass. Now take a look at the detailing, and the detailing on this figure is superb, so we'll take a closer look at that. So starting off with the head, all the detailing here looks very nice, and looks very accurate to how he looked in King Kong vs. Godzilla. All of the scaling going down the neck here looks very nice, and very suit accurate. The arms are detailed nicely, and the hands look very nice as well. The chest detailing is very superb, and all the detailing for the lower torso and legs look very nice as well. The feet are detailed very nicely as well. All the detailing here is very well defined, and the feet is no exception. So yeah. Going to the dorsal plates, they are actually detailed pretty well as well, so I really like how these look. And the tail is detailed very nicely as well. All the scaling here looks very nice. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the detailing on this figure. The detailing on this figure is pretty much perfect, so again, it definitely gets a pass. And that about does it for this figure. Except no, we're not done yet. You see, I would have been fine with just this, This figure is absolutely perfect. The sculpt is great, the articulation is great, everything about this figure is great. However, NECA took the extra step and did something else that nobody asked for, but it's still very nice that we have this, so yeah. This figure comes with an accessory, and that accessory is this effect piece. And I gotta say, this looks very nice. So the painting on this effect piece looks very nice and actually very accurate to the movie, because in the movie, it wasn't like, like when this came out, there was no CGI or anything like that. So what they did was they just had they basically used a fire extinguisher for the inside of the mouth for the suit. So yeah, that's why, this looks all white and whatnot, which again looks very nice. So yeah. The detail on this looks great as well, and the sculpt also looks very nice. And if you want to know how to plug it in, just go to his mouth and you look for a little hole in the back of his throat. So then you just need to make sure the flat piece is at the bottom, and then you plug that in like so, and there you go. He is now breathing his atomic breath, which looks very nice. My only complaint with this is that the effect piece kind of weighs down the head, which is something I'm not really the biggest fan of, but it's fine whatsoever. But yeah. Also, I feel like over time, the effect piece might mess up the jaw in some way, so if you plan on displaying this, like so, then probably don't, because this actually might ruin it, but as of right now, this thing looks very nice with the effect piece in it, so yeah. Again, this is something that NECA did not have to do, This was, something that was just unnecessary and just, alright, we would have been fine with just this, but they took the extra step, so yeah. Good show on NECA's part, but yeah. And that about does it for this review. Should you get this figure? Absolutely. This figure is superb. Everything about this figure is just great. And you can walk into Target and get this for 27 bucks. And if you want it, if you want to order it online, then I do suggest ordering it from Big Bad Toy Store. I'm not sponsored or anything like that, but just know that you can get it there for a pretty good price, so yeah. Anyway, definitely get this figure if you can. This figure is absolutely perfect, and, as I said earlier, this is the best Godzilla figure in the NECA line. And I just wish NECA could, do all their figures like this. The packaging for this figure is even good. I didn't show it in this video because, you know, that's what the unboxing video is for, but everything about this figure is perfect, and I feel like this is something that NECA needs to do for the rest of their Godzilla figures. They don't always have to come with effect pieces. No, they don't, but just like, you know, the figures themselves, I feel like, yeah, it'd be nice if, you know, it was all this. No bendy wire, better paint apps, better boxes, so, yeah. Definitely get this figure if you can, but if you want to know how big he is, here he is next to Dr. Billy Grant. Alright, now hopefully they do make a Kong next year for King Kong vs. Godzilla, the new one that's coming out, but yeah. If they do make a Kong, like, 1962 version, then that would be very nice, but yeah. Anyway, that is it for today. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, Zuck out.